If you are thinking about running ads for your e-commerce brand, or you already are, stop and watch this video because what I'm about to tell you is what most agencies won't tell you because it will cost them money, to be honest with you. My name is Braylon and I run a marketing agency for e-commerce brands. And I've seen e-commerce brands actually throw tons of money into ads when they are not ready. But I've also seen e-commerce brands who have a solid foundation and ads are the last piece that they need. In this video, I'm going to explain what position you probably are in and if it's the right move to actually get marketing or if it's not. I actually work with e-commerce brands who are at least doing 5K to 50K months. And the ones that aren't doing these months are almost always the people who are having the most trouble because the real problems behind these are the back-end systems and all of the funnels, the website, the content, all of that. Now, ads are an amplifier, not just a solution. And this is very, very key to understand because if you are running ads, this is going to amplify either a good structure or a bad structure. So if you have a strong foundation, ads are going to pour fuel on the fire. So if your click-through rate is good, you're getting organic sales and all this stuff is piling up, if you put ads on top of that, it's just going to grow into something bigger and it's going to multiply. Now, if you have a weak foundation, your ads accelerate failure. Because if you're already failing and not getting organic sales, what do you think is going to happen when you have more people coming onto your website and page? That is not going to change. That is just going to amplify the problem. And as you can see, these are three signs that you're actually not ready for ads. So your offer is not proven organically. And what I mean by that is that when you are having you just dropped and you got no sales. You get no sales. You've posted content maybe once or twice and it's not getting good views. There's nothing to it. Like your systems are not converting the right ICP, let alone maybe your product isn't good enough that people actually want it. Now, this could mean content, and what I mean by content is that you're testing the same things over and over again. Like if you're testing the exact same things, it's not going to work. You can't figure out what your ideal ICP wants and your actual customers like and what they like to watch, stuff like that, what the website needs to look like, all of that stuff. And then obviously organic sales, like I just talked about, if you don't have a good website, let alone content that's actually attracting your right ICP, then organic sales are not going to come in. Let alone the click-through rate is going to be very, very, very low. Now, what I mean is for this example, as you can see, there are only 295 views on this. And then 262, 346, all of this stuff, like they're very, very low view counts. And they are almost all the same kind of content. Now, if a specific type of content actually works and you actually get a decent amount of views, like 1,000 to 2,000, yes, that is a repeatable thing and you can repeat it, but just in a different format and changing it up like 90%. But as you can see, these are all not high converting videos. People don't want this product. Or maybe people do, but the content is not being pushed out properly to the right ICP for them to actually engage and want to purchase this product. Now, the second one is you don't know your margins. So if you are going blindly into making a whole entire website store, everything like you just dropped your product and you don't know your break-even CPA, you are going to fall very, 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 very far behind because obviously you need to know your break-even CPA. Your CPA is a very, very big thing on how much it costs to even acquire this customer and how much you can spend to even acquire this customer. Now, this doesn't necessarily matter all that much until you are running ads, but it is still good, very, very good to know. Let alone knowing everything about the IOA, knowing your profit margins, knowing exactly what it costs to get the product here, the pick and pack fee, what you can comfortably afford, what the price range is, so that you're not like pricing your hoodie, your tee, whatever it is at a really, really high price, even just because you want the profit. If you are starting out, you are not going to make as much money as these clothing brand owners who are doing, 27K months or even days and stuff like that, because it is a simple factor of you don't have the social proof, you don't have the right content, you don't know your ideal ICP, you don't even have a customer base behind it to even be able to charge those prices yet. So knowing all your margin is a big factor. And also your AOV, your average order. And also, lastly, your funnel isn't converting warm traffic. So let's say you tell somebody about your product and they still don't even convert. So this is just word of mouth, let alone, like I said, from your content. Like if your content is not getting you organic sales, it's either your content's the problem, your product's the problem, or the website is the problem. And you can go through your analytics and literally see and break down the whole entire thing for yourself to see what the problem actually is. And if it's a product issue, people are not going to even be on the website. If it's a trusting issue, people are not going to be, there's going to be a decent amount of add to carts and add to carts to initiate checkout. And if those are pretty even itself, then it's the drop off between initiating checkout to actually completing the checkout, then it's most likely a trust issue. They don't have enough trust to actually think that you're going to ship, let alone that you are not a scam. Now, what ads actually do to an unprepared brand? So your customer route with a strong foundation is going to look like this. Ads are going to be shown to a cold audience, right? And the click-through rate is going to be 2% or higher, hopefully. And then they're going to go from the landing page. The audience is going to go to the landing page or even the product page. Most likely, you want them to have to go to the product page if you are showing off a specific product. And then from there, they're going to be adding to cart. So the click-through rate, the CVR, is going to be 3+%, hopefully. And then from there, they're going to initiate checkout. And from there, they're going to purchase, right? If this is all good funnel and foundation and you have a good foundation. And hopefully this is 5+% completed. So these metrics are very, very important, but these metrics can only be met if you have the proper foundation to even be running ads in the first place. Now, let me break down exactly what happens if you do not have a good foundation and you start running ads. Ads shown to cold audience, the click-through rate is going to be very, very poor because, like I said over here, if you are only testing these same videos and concepts, then you are not going to get very, very far at all, because not every single person is going to want to watch a flat lay. Maybe they want to see the model, maybe they want to see the product on the models, or maybe they want to see different videos, maybe entertaining videos. You have to do customer research to even know what kind of content, as well as, testing these pieces of content on your story, your Instagram organically, and see what actually works for you. Now, obviously, this is going to be very low, like I just said, because you're not testing good content, let alone you're not changing the type of style, the format, everything like that. It's not being changed. It's all the same thing. Now, this is going to lead into a weak ad creative or unclear offer. Also, if you do not have a clear offer over here, this is a decent, I guess, kind of offer. It's not really an offer. There is no actual offer. This is just a menu piece when they're dropping out now. There's no incentive for these people to actually purchase or even want to come onto the site to even purchase. So a good incentive is like maybe the first 3 SMS get a full entire refund. So now that's also getting you more new SMS subscribers to retarget and re-get engaged for later drops, or even, pulling them back in to purchase maybe a little bit more. And let alone, this is actually making them want to be there for the drop day. Because if you want a full refund, you're going to be the first person on that site, so you technically get it for free. Now, obviously, if you're testing it like this and you don't have an incentive, like, people are not going to want to show up there for a drop day. And then from there, people are going to come over here if they even make it to that far, and they're going to add to cart, and they're not going to even try to check out because there's no trust on the site. There's weak copy, there's friction to purchase. So let's hypothetically say this is your website, right? This is your website. This is the first page, and this first page is just a page where you click on shop. Okay? And let's say that this landing page just goes to the landing page, okay? So they have to click on shop. Then from there, they have to go here. This is the main page. And you have the product here, right? When they click to there, they're going to be going to here. And this is going to be the product page. And let's say you have a bunch of bullshit up here. They have to scroll down to even get to the specific checkout button, and from there they are taken to the checkout. So in these four different steps, let alone maybe five, because they have to see the ad and then go and click on shop, you're going to lose customers in this little funnel. So you want to make it as frictionless as possible, right? So if instead you have it actually linked to the product page, right? So they're going to click, it's going to go to the product page. From there, you have the product, they see what they want, they see the size, and the button is very clear right here, and maybe a few details, and below it, you actually want the description, maybe a foldable thing where it actually drops down and actually explains if they want to know. Not every person actually wants to know details, maybe they're just a person who just buys, right? They don't really care, they just buy. And so then they get taken to the checkout, right? And that's that. Instead of going through 5 different pages trying to even get to purchasing. Now, you also want to make sure that the copy is good. If you're not having keywords, let alone things that actually make people want to buy, you are not going to get a sale. And then from add to cart, hopefully they're going to initiate checkout, but most likely not, and that's not going to even convert into no purchases. So 0 purchases are going to be complete because your foundation is not properly optimized for even getting traffic. Now, what's going to happen is ad spend is going to drain fast, right? If you are running ads currently and you are, you're not getting any results, you're just draining your ad spend and money that could actually be going back into the website possibly, or even content and stuff like that, and you're just draining it. Like, you're draining it so much, like, because you're not even getting results or anything like that. And then obviously if you have an agency or maybe you're running it yourself, you're like, the brand blames the agency, of course, because most agencies don't understand that these brands actually need to be built up before ads can actually work and be properly used in the proper way. Now, since the brands actually blame the agency, nobody finds the real problem, because if your agency is most likely scaling you or trying to scale you when you don't have a proper foundation, let alone the content for it, let alone the budget, then you both are going to be looking at each other like you don't know what the fuck to do, because you both don't. You don't understand that there is a certain thing that actually needs to be put in place before you even run ads. Now the owner walks away thinking ads don't work, and then this also leaves you as an e-commerce brand thinking that agencies actually are a scam and all this stuff. But in reality, ads do work on proper foundations, and agencies aren't a scam as long as they actually understand that these foundations need to be put in place first, let alone content needs to be good. A lot of content needs to be coming in to be tested with. Now, what actually to do to fix all of these issues, right? So you need to start focusing on organic content. Now, what this looks like, right? You're going to start doing pictures, videos with good hooks, right? Let alone they have very, very good quality. So you're going to want to take flat lay photos. You're going to want to take model photos. You're going to want to take group photos. You're going to want to take close-ups, far ways, maybe out in the public, everything like that. And then you're going to want to actually create videos with a good hook. If you do not have a good hook, then you are not going to properly grab in your right ICP. if these videos are, just videos, right, with no hook, no incentive, nothing, why do you think somebody's going to actually want to come purchase from that video? And then second, you're going to want to focus on getting 20 to 50 orders. So actually first hitting your first, 1K to even, let's say 5K, right? So that you know how hard it is to even get these 20 to 50 orders, let alone know your ideal ICP, what they like, what the offers they like, how much you can afford to actually get these customers, let alone what the profit margins are to even run certain deals and actually get these customers to come purchase and buy from you. Excuse me. And then you're going to want to fix your CVR on your website. And obviously this comes with time and researching and doing a lot of research. Go look at your favorite clothing brand, right? Look at how their website is laid out. Look at everything that they implement, everything like that, and actually implement into your website. You can build a good Shopify website without even having to get somebody and pay for it. It is essentially free. Yes, it might take you a couple hours to actually get to know and everything like that, but you can successfully make a good website that actually converts without having to pay anybody to do it. And then lastly, obviously you're going to learn your numbers to create desirable offers for your customers, right? Now, if you don't know your numbers, like I just said, you're going to want to know your numbers, because if you want people to actually click on your website, get these 20 to 50 orders, let alone having a good CVR, you're going to want to create desirable offers that don't leave you without profit, but also actually increase your AOV, let alone get you purchases, right? Let's say that you have a product for $50, right? And you get it for, let's say, 25, okay? And your break-even CPA is 35, okay? $35 is what it takes. Like, you can't go over that, and if you want to be under it technically. So that's your profit, right? 35 is a pretty decent number. You can probably increase this by, a couple dollars if you want to do that. But if not, you don't need to. You're actually sitting at a pretty good point. You want to actually make a decent offer that is going to be like, I don't know, maybe buy two, get one free, right? So now people are buying two, so that increases it to $100, right? And in that $100, since you're profiting 35, you're actually going to be profiting around $70 instead of just 35. So if you think, yes, your customer is getting a good deal, but you're actually increasing your average order value, let alone you're actually getting more units sold for a better price. And yeah, that's most of the systems that we actually kind of help you with. If Now, if you're watching this whole entire video and you have a good offer, you know your numbers, you're actually pulling in some decent revenue organically, and all of these are checking off for you, and you've even made it this far into the video, now all you need to do is actually implement the ads with somebody who actually knows how to do them, let alone scale them properly. And, if you're not there yet, that's completely fine. That is okay. This is why the whole entire video is to actually break down for you and actually help you be able to be in the position to scale. So bookmark this video or save it or whatever you have to do. But when you go build your foundation and come back to when you Come back when you can check every single box off. So that means, all three of these signs that you're not ready. Once you can successfully actually check all these off, then you have a good foundation. And you'll be actually very, very glad that you waited until you actually put all these foundations in place until you want to actually run ads and actually pay for traffic. And if you are ready and you want to talk about scaling, right? You think that you have everything in place, your foundation's proper, you have organic sales coming in, you have good content, you have a good click-through rate, right? Or sorry, conversion rate, excuse me. And you know your margins, your funnel is converting warm traffic, and you want to talk about actually scaling and what it looks like for your brand. All you have to do is there will be a link in the description below, and it will take you to a short application where you can fill out everything that you need to. But I only do work with a handful of brands at a time, let alone local businesses. So it's not for everyone, but if you are a fit, we'll be able to figure it out and see exactly where we can help you in places that you're struggling in. If Either way, if you have somebody that you know who is starting a e-commerce brand, or maybe has seen somebody who is, and you think that this video would actually help them, feel free to share it and let them know that they could be making a very expensive mistake, which you don't want them to do. It might even save a lot of money for them as well. But that is going to be the whole entire video for today. I hope this helped you guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.